milkweed. How does monarch butterflies drink this stuff?
I have no idea. It's so gross.
Ugh. Good morning. I'm Mr. Attard with the Morning Monarch Talk News here with co-host Mr. Feeney.
Good morning, Monarch viewers. I'll be directing your attention directly to Miss Diamond, which is out in the field with breaking news.
In the next few weeks, some 25,000 migrating birds flying through New York City to their annual spring breeding grounds up north will perish by smashing into glass skyscrapers, according to New York City Audubon, the local affiliate of famed bird group. It's estimated that several million birds fly through New York City each year. All told, an alarming 90,000 die each year after crashing into buildings blocking their Atlantic flight path. After a 200-mile, 10-hour night flight, the birds can be flying as fast as 30 miles an hour when they collide with a building. The daily death toll peaks early in the morning when birds see trees and clouds reflected in glass facades. The delicate creatures can suffer internal bleeding and head trauma upon high-speed impact with the city's sky-high towers. Most affected species are the white-throated sparrow, common yellowthroat, dark-eyed junco, ovenbird, ruby-crowned kinglet, hermit thrush, golden-crowned kinglet, black and white warbler, American woodcock, song sparrow, gray catbird, and blackpoll warbler. Last week, a wounded American woodcock was discovered on 47th Street near 6th Avenue. A local wildlife rehabilitator took the thin-beaked shorebird to the Wild Bird Fund Center on the Upper West Side. The native white-throated sparrow, a bird with a black eye striped and white crown, has a hardy population of 30 million. But every year, 10,000 are killed crossing over New York City. The U.S. Postal Service's Morgan Processing and Distribution Center in Chelsea once had the dubious distinction of 400 kamikaze bird deaths a year. But in 2007, a black, non-reflective covering was placed over the windows on the north side of the high target area, and the following year, there were no bird fatalities. The Jacob Javits Center, which is undergoing renovation, is now using less reflective glass for that reason. In the experiment beginning tomorrow in a shipping container set up in the Bronx Zoo, different glass materials will be tested. Captured birds will fly into safety nets placed in front of a different patterned or plexiglassed to find the best non-reflective, bird-friendly facade for future building construction. If you spot an injured or dead bird, you should call and report it to Audubon at 212-691-7483.
Thank you, Miss Diamond, for those amazing and enlightening news.
Now, speaking of migration and flying, did you know that monarch butterflies are on their way up north?
I didn't know that.
It takes some time, but there's about 4 stages to their life cycle.
Really? What are they?
Check it out with me. Let me explain a little bit further.
After hibernation is complete, the adults of the last generation find a mate and lay eggs. They hatch into baby caterpillars called larvae. It takes about 4 days for the eggs to hatch. Once the eggs are hatched, the babies will eat milkweed and grow and grow and grow until they're strong enough. After about 2 weeks, the caterpillars will go through the process of metamorphosis. It will then take some time for those caterpillars, fully grown, to attach themselves to stem or leaves or find a place in order for them to go through the process of chrysalisis. Although, from the outside, there are about 10 days of the chrysalis phase seems to be a time when nothing is happening. It is really a time of rapid change. Within the chrysalis, the older body parts of the caterpillar are undergoing a remarkable transformation called metamorphosis to become beautiful parts that make the butterfly that will emerge. The monarch butterfly will emerge from the pupa and fly away, feeding on flowers such as milkweed and just enjoying the short life that is left, which is only about 2 to 6 weeks. The first generation of monarch butterfly will die after laying eggs for the next generation.
Good morning, Monarch viewers. Thank you all for tuning in. I am Miss Diamond, and today we're going to discuss the hibernation of monarch butterflies and how it relates to the Earth's revolution around the sun. So, for 365 days a year, the Earth travels around the Sun on a 23.5-degree tilt. The Earth's revolution is very important for the migration of butterflies, as it will guide each generation to their next destination. During March, when we experience the spring equinox, which is also known as the vernal equinox, we will have 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night. At this time, the sun's direct rays will hit the equator at 0 degrees latitude, and the fourth generation butterflies will produce their eggs in the Sierra Madre Mountains and make their way to Texas.
Yes, good morning, Miss Diamond. Heading our way. The fourth generation monarch in Mexico are right now hibernating. This is their 7-month diapause. When waking up, they'll eat, mate, and lay eggs on the host plant milkweed and die a week later. 6 weeks later, first generation will start to wake up in May, heading to South Texas.
So, as the Earth is moving around the Sun, the direct rays will hit the Earth's surface until it reaches its highest latitude at 23.5 degrees north, which is also known as the Tropic of Cancer. This occurs in June 21st, and because the butterflies are going to try to reach a cooler climate, they will continue to travel in the northern direction and reach northern Wisconsin at 45 degrees north.
Yes, after the first generation that reaches South Texas, a major concern is the drought that we have been experiencing for the past several years. This means less milkweed plants, and without it, the monarchs are being reduced in population numbers. And by June, second generation reaches the open meadows and fields of northern Wisconsin, looking for his host plants. They mate, lay eggs, and die. 6 weeks later, third generation travel more north.
Yep, and that's as the Earth travels for another 3 months. We are going to end up at September 22nd, when the Earth experiences the autumnal equinox. Did you know that equinox means equal night? Implying that the equinoxes, there will be equal day and equal night, 12 hours for each. During this time, the butterflies have traveled even more north and arrived at northern Canada at about 60 degrees north.
Yes, by the third generation, they're traveling more north, passing New York City, ending up in Canada. They mate, lay eggs, and die. 6 weeks later, around September, the fourth generation is ready to travel back 3,000 miles to the Sierra Madre Occidental Mountains in Mexico.
And during that time, the Earth is still revolving around the Sun, and on December 21st, the Northern Hemisphere will experience winter, which is also known as a winter solstice, because the Sun's direct rays are hitting 23.5 degrees south, which is also known as the Tropic of Capricorn.
Thank you for tuning in to the Monarch Morning Show. We are all here hopeful that by the time the monarchs reach their hibernating location, that they do not face habitat loss due to deforestation. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week.
Oh, welcome back, Monarch viewers.
Mr. Attar, did you learn anything from this video?
Yes, I did. It was interesting enough that monarchs actually drink this really distasteful stuff called milkweed.
You mean the stuff I just did?
Yes, we did. Well, it's actually beneficial for their survival.
In what sense?
Because this stuff contains all types of toxins in it. Fatal, done, once they have it.
It wasn't toxic towards me, but thank you. That's one of the most important facts that I learned today.
Absolutely.
So, I'd like to finish up and wrap up the story with just a quick thank you, shout out to Dr. Murfin for sponsoring our network, and of course, thank you to the Monarch viewers. Have a nice day.
Dr. Murfin's class is awesome. Have a good day. Bye. The Monarch Production, Inc.
That monarchs actually drink this stuff called milkweed. It's very distasteful, but, you know, in this case... Oh, how do monarch butterflies drink this stuff? Milkweed?
I have no idea. It's gross.
Whatever. Oh, good morning. I'm John Attar with Morning Monarch... Oh, shit.
Redo.
I'm gonna move around. Oh, shit.